What kind of HOA storms your home, cracks your safe, and steals your entire gun collection, claiming the Second Amendment doesn't exist on your own land? That's the nightmare I, Jack Ramsey, a retired Texas Ranger, lived through on my DULA 327,000 ranch in Freedom's Gate, Texas. They took 47 guns, me life's work, worth over DULA 175,000, used for teaching while I was at my gun shop. The mastermind? The HOA, led by a fanatic named Abigail Stokes, who thought she could bully me into submission. She picked the wrong fight, and it cost her everything: her power, her freedom, and her reputation. My name's Jack Ramsey, and this is how I turned their scheme into a Texas-sized reckoning that shook the state. My wife, Sarah, and I fell in love with the Freedom's Gate Ranch the moment we saw it. 3 acres of prime land, perfect for my growing gun collection, and a private shooting range I planned for my advanced students. As a retired ranger running Lone Star Firearms, a thriving gun shop and training center, I needed a place that could double as a business hub. I scoured the HOA rules. Nothing banned firearms or small businesses. The realtor swore Freedom's Gate was a Liberty Low VYing community. Its name screamed as much, and the pre-VYS owner had 0 HOA complaints. The property was a dream, a big house with high ceilings for hosting clients, an outbuilding ideal for a soundproofed range, and natural hills for safety. Sarah adored the wraparound porch scena and the kitchen windows framing the Texas sunset. After 15 years as a ranger and 5 building my business, this was our forever home, the next chapter for Lone Star Firearms. We cracked open beers on MOVYing Day, toasting to a future of community and success. Then Abigail Stokes, the HOA president, showed up. I was directing movers hauling my gun safes when a sharp-eyed woman with gray hair and a tight bun strode over. "Mr. Ramsey, welcome to Freedom's Gate," she said, her smile thin, eyes locking onto my gun cases. "Quite a collection." When I mentioned my range plans, her face turned to stone. "We're updating safety rules. Come to our next meeting." Her cold tone raised my hackles, but I shrugged it off, focused on settling in. Sarah set up her constitutional law office in the sunroom, and I unpacked my collection: flintlock pistols, my great-grandfather's Frontier revolver, my grandfather's World War II sidearm, and modern tactical guns for training. Each was cataloged, photographed, and locked in high-security safes, built to Ranger standards. That night, our neighbor, Hank Wheeler, a retired sheriff, swung by. "Watch Abigail," he warned over beers. "She's been purging gun owners since she took over 2 years ago." Her cronies, Victor Langston, a slick ex-lawyer, and Eleanor Pratt, a city council wannabe, twist rules to crush anyone who disagrees. He showed me photos of Freedom's Gate before Abigail block parties, kids playing, neighbors united. The original developer, a Vietnam vet, had built an HOA that honored constitutional rights, but Abigail was tearing it apart. The first HOA meeting proved Hank right. Abigail ran it like a dictator, shutting down dissent while Victor scribbled sparse notes. When she pushed a safety initiative, Sarah gripped my hand. As we left, I noticed a car watching our house. "That's Abigail's nephew Tommy," Hank said. "Her surveillance guy." A chill ran through me, but I'd faced worse than an HOA tyrant. The next week, I was at Lone Star Firearms teaching a gun maintenance class when Sarah called, her voice shaking. "Jack, they broke in." I sped home to find her in our gun room, safes busted open. All 47 gun CIVYL war Colts, competition pistols, family heirlooms gone. A note read, "Firearms confiscated under Regulation 298. Second Amendment inapplicable in HOA. Contact HOA office." The room was trashed, drawers yanked out, display cases empty. A neighbor saw 7 HOA uniformed people enter with a key, Leah VYing with cases. They'd used our emergency access key, meant for fires or floods, to rob us. Rage boiled inside me. These weren't just guns, they were my heritage, my teaching tools, my livelihood. "This is illegal," Sarah said, already in lawyer mode. "Breaking and entering, theft, constitutional violations." I swore Abigail had made a deadly mistake messing with a ranger. Sleep wouldn't come that night, my mind replaying the theft. My grandfather's Colt, carried at Antietam. My father's revolver, paired with his 30-year HPD badge. My ranger sidearm, which saved my life twice. Irreplaceable. The loss gutted my business. Me courses depended on those guns. Sarah dove into Texas law, drafting a demand letter listing felonies, theft overdue law 175,000, illegal entry, Second and Fourth Amendment v. violations. We hunted for Regulation 298, finding nothing until Amos Carter, an 80-year-old ex-councilman, revealed a secret meeting, announced only on a tucked-away bulletin board, where 12 of Abigail's allies passed the gun ban. Unenforceable, Sarah declared. It violates state law, federal law, and the HOA's charter. Amos shared how Abigail, after losing her son, turned Freedom's Gate into her fiefdom, consolidating power with low voter turnout. You're the first with the legal chops to fight back, he said. I confronted Abigail at the HOA office, slamming the regulation on her desk. You stole my property. Return my guns or I call Sheriff Dawson. Pain flickered in her eyes. Your guns killed my son, she spat. People like you choose bullets over lives. Freedom's Gate will be gun-free, a model for Texas. Your rights don't apply here. Her personal vendetta was clear, but her theft was a crime. Victor offered a deal: return the guns if I stored no ammo and ditched the range. I refused. Me courses needed custom ammo, and the range was my business's core. This wasn't about guns, it was about my rights and livelihood. The HOA office, a plush headquarters funded by skyrocketing fines, reeked of corruption. Abigail's new SUV, license plate, HOA Queen, stood out while residents struggled. Hank's police contacts traced my guns to Victor's private warehouse. We snapped photos of cases inside, overhearing Victor tell Eleanor. The Colts could fund your campaign. Untraceable through my Dallas guy. I recorded it legally from public property. The warehouse's heavy security cameras, guards hinted at more than confiscation. Violation notices piled up. Due law 200 for a misparked truck, due law 2,500 total for nonsense like tall grass or loud laughter. Sarah called it a bankruptcy scheme, but found the HOA's covenant guaranteed constitutional rights, unamendable without 100 fan tram approval. Harassment ramped up: stickers on our cars, a smashed mailbox, towed client vehicles. Abigail's allies crashed a supporters' party, snapping photos to intimidate. She badmouthed us to neighbors, warning of raids. Tommy stalked our house, and Victor threatened my vendors. Kids were told to avoid our dangerous home. It was a textbook playbook to isolate and expel. Sarah built a case to dismantle Abigail's regime while I rallied Texas gun owners. Second Amendment groups and lawmakers backed us, seeing a chance to curb HOA overreach. My shop became a resistance hub. Clients offered support. A gunsmith loaned guns, a shooter co-taught classes. At Amos's place, 30 residents formed the Freedom's Gate Liberty Council, sharing stories of Abigail's abuses. Due law 1,000 Christmas light fines, banned basketball hoops. Fear ruled. Neighbors whispered, checking windows. Abigail had turned a free community into a surveillance state. Maria Lopez, a reporter, joined us, digging into HOA finances. Budgets had tripled, but no projects materialized. Victor's legal fees are obscene, she said. The HOA hearing was a showdown. I challenged Regulation 298's illegality, citing the covenant. Abigail cut my mic. Victor blocked me, but residents yelled, "Let him speak!" Her grip slipped. I exposed their crimes. Abigail called me in contempt, but the crowd's support, filming, broke her control. Sarah whispered, "If the Second Amendment doesn't apply, neither does the First. Use it." We launched Operation First Amendment, plastering signs. HOA bang tyranny. No Constitution. Abigail demanded they come down, but Sarah's letter trapped her. If no Second Amendment, no First either. Her sign rules were void. Neighbors posted signs, ignoring fines. When Abigail sent guards to tear them down, 20 residents, Maria filming, stood firm. Eleanor, on camera, admitted, temporary, gun seizure, contradicting their confiscation claim. Maria's VY Rao report, tagged the HOA tyranny and the 2A, drew national eyes. A senator pushed HOA reform, gun makers offered inventory, and a homeowners group joined us. We sued Abigail, Victor, and Eleanor for theft, illegal entry, fraud, and abuse, leveraging our homestead exemption. Abigail demanded $10,000 in fines, threatening foreclosure, desperate. Hank learned they'd moved my guns to Eleanor's storage. Sheriff Dawson, an old ranger buddy, suggested a safety seminar to draw them out. Over 40 attended despite Abigail's threats. Victor, ranting, admitted bypassing notification for Regulation 298 phones caught it. A text from an unknown number led to Abigail's sister, Lydia Stokes, who revealed her son's suicide, not a gun accident, and Abigail's property scam with Victor, buying homes cheap via fines. Bank records backed it up. Maria's exposé sparked a recall petition, hitting 60 fan tram signatures. In court, Sarah's team, with Lydia's testimony, exposed the scam. The judge ordered my guns returned, voided fines, and struck down Regulation 298. Abigail vowed to appeal, but her empire was crumbling. Most guns were recovered, but 5 antiques were missing. Lydia's documents tied Abigail to a political group testing gun bans through HOAs. Surveillance caught Victor trying to sell my guns on the black market. At the recall vote, Abigail tried rigging ballots but got caught. With 87 fan tram support, the board was ousted. Amos, elected interim president, repealed Regulation 298. Arrests followed Abigail and Victor for theft, fraud, and fiduciary breach. My last Colt was found in Abigail's safe, a bitter twist. We hosted a community barbecue, launching a homeowners' rights group and a gun safety program. Sarah's class action suit against Texas HOAs was certified. Freedom's Gate, meant to be gun-free, became a beacon for constitutional rights. One ranger, backed by a community, proved no one treads on Texas rights, not on my watch.